Hello, I'm MC Toon, the worst rapper in the world. I was just on a stream with Team Skeptic, FTFE, and a whole crew of other clowns. It was pretty good, but I said, hey, I'm coming over here. So, what do we got? We got a few people in here. I had earlier today a little, let's see, hold on a second. I'm not centered. I got to fix this. There we go. I had a green screen going before, so it didn't really matter. So, that's for sound. Look at that. Had a stream earlier today where we addressed Mark Steele and all his lies. So that was pretty good. I'm sure the Mark Steele butthurt, should he be watching that, because he's a narcissist, he can't not watch it. He will probably be very butthurt. So I've got let's see. I got Crashes was interested in coming on, and maybe some other people. So Jack Zhang, I sent him a thing. But we got a couple videos, some memes, some stuff to look at. Nerd Angle. How you doing, Nerd Angle? For $1.99 says, help, I've been taken. Call Liam Neeson. I have a special skill set developed. I can't quote it. I'm sorry. I can only quote Weird Al, basically. Yeah. I'd have to look it up. Maybe I should. So let's see. We got Crashes. I got to send him. So during the live stream, I did two in a row. During the first one, it got shut down. I think some of Mark Steele's goons had reported the stream, and so it got shut down. It was showing the actual pictures of babies that were not actually injured by 5G, but were actually injured by something real, and probably YouTube didn't like that. So could be. I sent Jack the link to the YouTube video, not the Zoom link. So, yeah, it was likely their goons. Yeah, and so, it's not surprising, I guess, that he's got some goons there. So they're a nasty bunch. I got my that's not a blunt. That is a wire. Look at all that. I got a better one. I pulled these. So these I pulled out of the garbage, or the recycle pile when they were installing new power to our building 10 years ago or something. So you can look at all that copper there. And so this one's actually bigger, but it's not stripped back. So that's the kind of power you need, Mark Steele, if you're going to send something to injure people. And that probably wouldn't even do it. You'd probably need more than this for a cable to injure people. So figure out how it works. I'm going to get high off some copper. Copper doesn't... I might not do that there, Crust Puncher. It might be a little misunderstanding on your part. So, do we have Jack? I hear Jack. You're yawning. Are you going to go on camera, or are you going to... Well, I think there's probably some single ladies that would be asking. No? What's red and can't run around in a corridor? Asks Alex D. I don't know. Oh, what's red and can't turn around in a corridor? A fire extinguisher. A baby with a spear through its head. Naughty. Very naughty, and funny. Oh, that's crazy. Cretan Bull says, I've heard MC Toon talk about how much he likes metal. I didn't think he meant copper. Yes, I like heavy metal, and maybe copper. Yeah, tell you, if you had just a little longer, that could really hurt. That it is heavy. It's It's metal, so yeah, you don't want to get hit by that. BM Furball says he is Iron Man. So, Crashes is stuck at work. So, Jack wanted to do something, talk a little bit about phased array antennas. So we'll do that. But, you know, I have this video. It's 6 minutes long. You'd have to listen on the live stream, Jack, to it. Because I still haven't done the setup on the routing. But I kind of want to show this. I think it's going to be painful as hell. So let's see. Oh, something happened with my camera. Like just as I started, it kind of went wacky. So hold on. I gotta fix it. Oh, look at that. It's changing it in real time. Yeah, what on the wrong one. Yeah. Something's a little goofy with but there. Yup. Something's goofy with OBS, and it sometimes fixes. Look at that. Look, I'm way off on the side here. Sometimes it fixes when I restart OBS, but I can't do that when I'm live. So there we go. That one looks good. The other one looks bad. Who knows? All right, so I'm going to do this. I've not watched this, but this is Flat Earth Explained. So we're going to learn stuff now. All right. Oh, jeez. All right. Turn off his audio. So it's like the sun and moon and planets are caught in the Earth's magnetic field. That field rotates and oscillates throughout the year. This is number 2. I skipped number 1. Let me go back to number 1 because he's explaining daylight incorrectly. This isn't an old video. This is like new. So this is the same old crap. The sun is smaller and closer than we're told. Its light does not reach the entire Earth. If that were the case, it wouldn't be in goofy shapes and have like a straight line on the day of the equinox. This is Flurf 101, man. Like and that light bulb, that little light bulb totally ruins their whole claim because you can see the light bulb from the area that's not illuminated. Oh, that's so lame. All right, seasons. So, all right, so this is when you're looking at the light bulb thing, the sun is inside the dome. So here we got this one here. The sun and moon are caught in Earth's magnetic field, but they're too heavy to be held up by magnetism and not really made of ferromagnetic material. That's just stupid. The field rotates and oscillates throughout the year. If that were the case, then compasses. Where'd my compass go? Or compi, whatever. It's hidden. Compasses would constantly move like all the time. So that's wrong. I don't know how that explains seasons. Now I know what he's gonna say. He's gonna say the sun moves in and out. Here it is. The sun, the atmosphere acts like a lens, and so he's got this picture of a light outside a dome. So there you go. First the sun's inside, now it's outside. It doesn't make up your mind, All right, seasons, time zones. Time zones actually work. It's the one thing that works, other than the fact that the sun could never set. But ignoring that little hiccup, then yeah, it would work. Sort of. But the sun determines time zones. When the sun is above your head, it's noon. Yeah. But what about if the Earth were flat, the sun would never set. So in the middle of the night, it'd still be visible. So, all right. Sunsets. But, he's going to explain how sunsets happen. But on a flat Earth, hold on, did I miss? On a flat Earth with no atmosphere, the sunset would look like this. Oh, this is going to be cool and very wrong. And going to the horizon, no. Never never that low. It could not possibly be that low. I've done the math. It's not that hard. With no atmosphere, the sun would, my gosh, it's just like, it's 8th grade math. Seriously. It's, and oh yeah, Gary Wybenga, if you're in here, I got the thing for you. But the sun could never set because of perspective. It would always be high. So that was wrong about if the Earth were flat with no atmosphere. And now, but on a flat Earth with an atmosphere, the sun is also refracted and magnified. It's not just think about this. If everything distant was magnified this way and this way, right? You have something very distant and it's made wider, made to appear wider. And there's something next to it made to appear wider and something next to it made to appear wider. Wouldn't everything overlap? Like that, it wouldn't work that way. It could not work that way. The sun is not magnified like a magnifying glass by the atmosphere. That's totally wrong. Thank you, Rob Skiba, for lying to everybody about that. Oh my gosh. And he shows, yeah, the full size sun, the full size moon. Impossible, completely impossible. But they don't even try to figure out how it might work. They just guess and say close enough. Dumb. Just flirt one away. Yeah, here, this is the Rob Skiba garbage, right here. Blah blah blah. I wonder if they're going to talk about cold moonlight, just for BM Furball's benefit. What do you think? Sunsets. All right, here's eclipses. Oh, this is going to be all wrong. Planets are not what we're told. They're translucent balls of energy caught in Earth's magnetic field. There's a magnetic field again that you don't understand. Some are so transparent we don't even know about them. No, I don't question flat earthers that they don't know about things. We know that flat earthers don't know about things. But other people, adults, they know about things. And yeah, we know about the planets. So, and the out of focus, blurry, over zoomed and chromatic aberration thing from a P900 isn't a telescope. So, hey, Prime Red, how you doing? Gave you a little shout out on Team Skeptic there. So, all right, solar eclipse. During a solar eclipse, the moon passes under the sun, and during a lunar eclipse, Rahu passes under the moon. Yeah. Okay. Oh. I don't know how to mute your, because I'm the meeting originator, so I can't if I can mute you, right? But I don't know if you can mute me. So click on gallery view. Are you on mobile? Okay, so yeah, click on gallery view, and then in the upper right corner of my window, I see mute and then 3 dots. Okay, so let me try this. Can you hear me now? I got it. All right, so there you go. I muted myself for you. All right, so Rahu, yes, the thing that's never been seen or measured, it's just been guessed at. You know what? I was reading the Bob Nodell Skype chat from 2017, where they're talking about the ring laser gyroscope that they totally measured the rotation of the Earth with. But they were talking about they're going to go to the actual in 2017 where the eclipse was visible, and they're going to send up a whole bunch of balloons. Get this, they were hoping to see Rahu from the balloons. That's how duped in the mind they are. I mean, good on them for actually trying to find it somehow, but yeah, kind of, I mean, it shows how loopy they are. You're not going to find that. So ooh, Prime Red for $2 says, did some Discord Mad Libs. You might like it. So there you go. I'll pop into my Discord server. The link's in the description. If you want, let's see. Did you do it in general, or was it in a separate? I mean, I could make a channel for you if you want to do that in there. Prime Red. So, but thank you for that, Prime Red. All right, I'm going to go back to this. So Bob Nodell had this. They were talking. They're going to put balloons up so that they could, find Rahu. But of course they didn't. The bigger problem though is the solar eclipse. The positioning doesn't work because, or actually none of it works. The moon goes under the sun, but it doesn't predict the particular shapes that it does. It would go opposite that. So yeah, silly. All right, let's move on. They don't want to push the Rahu garbage too much. Yeah. Rahu and Ketu. Yes, they've never been seen, never been measured, never been identified. It's just a stupid idea. You did a dramatic reading on your YouTube channel. The link is on my server. Very nice. Keep going. Rahu and Ketu. So funny. Ooh, stars. Earth's magnetic field produces a harmonic frequency. That frequency resonates along the dome, which we call the Schumann Resonance. No, it's not. They always like to just assign magical properties to magnetism. That's, it doesn't work. So, intersecting frequencies on the outside of the dome cause bubbles within fluidic space to cavitate and produce stars via sonoluminescence. No, it doesn't. You're just making crap up. The magnetic field doesn't move that much. Like the magnetic field has been moving a lot lately, which is, like kilometers a year. It just, none of what you're saying matches measurements. You're just making up crap. And gullible people believe it, I guess. People that could not finish 8th grade math. So, all right. Our atmosphere acts like a lens. All right, so back again on the stars are outside the lens now, outside the dome. Yeah, doesn't explain it at all. And of course, here's the silly thing. The camera that they used was outside this dome, and they're saying that we are inside the dome, and therefore it works. Put the camera inside the dome and reproduce it. You won't. So we got Danny Jones, Hoax Police. The FE idiots make out he was for them. Oh, what was that? So Danny Jones is one guy that debated Mark Steele. Now, Mark Steele won't debate me. He's too frightened. But, sad loss. Oh, you're talking Mad Mike Hughes. Yeah. I interviewed him. And nice guy. And Matt Duckworth knew him well. And Matt said that, Mike didn't think the Earth was flat. He was just doing it to get publicity. So take it for what you will there. All right. Move along. And, here we go. Gravity. All materials on Earth are diamagnetic. Well, except for magnets and steel and iron and nickel. And there's a lot of things that are not diamagnetic. This is not diamagnetic, but it goes down. Anyway, diamagnetic materials are repelled by magnetic fields. This includes our atmosphere. Gravity is a push from above, not a pull from below. So then this would go up by that claim. So there you go. And different materials, here's the thing, dummy. Different materials have different magnetic susceptibilities, different amounts of diamagnetism. that's not related to their mass, right, or their density. None of it's related. But the downward force that things experience are directly related to their mass, not directly related to their diamagnetic susceptibility. It's backwards again. Or not backwards. Just wrong. All right. I don't know why it's square. Maybe he's making it for a different platform. All right. Tides. The sun and moon affect tides because water is diamagnetic. So what? All right. They're going to say the sun and moon are doing it. And like the sun and the moon is diamagnetic, so there'd be low tide during when the moon is over, except it's the opposite. So is the moon. And what about the high tide when it's 12 hours off of the moon? It doesn't make any sense. Oh, like how gullible. You didn't even check any of this. You didn't check anything. It's of course because you're not that bright. Navigation. Oh, yes. The North Pole's in the middle, and everything out from the North Pole is south, except the problem is that there is a single magnetic South Pole south of Australia. It's not everywhere outside. You just didn't even ever look at anything. Did I see somebody talking to Gary Wybenga? Is he here? Oh, punchy. Oh, I'm just not getting it, says Bug and Pop. So, I don't know if you're being serious or not, Bug and Pop, but let me know if you're serious. And you're invited on if you are serious. No pose, though. Unless your name is Flunchy. Yeah, so, yeah, magnetism, wrong. The other thing you miss is the magnetic inclination and magnetic field strength. The magnetic field strength is a total strength of the magnetic field, and it has a point that's the smallest. And if this map was correct, then at the North Pole the field strength would be the highest, and everywhere south would be weaker and weaker. But in reality, North Pole is high. Near south of Australia is high, and in between there's a gradient from high to low, in the middle to high again. The very lowest is in the middle of South America, in Brazil actually, which totally makes sense on a globe. So again, nothing. You guys should hire some flat earth geologists. Yeah, we researched flat earth. You guys got it all wrong. Bug and Pop. No, not serious. I'm not serious? God's no, not serious. That's not English, man. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, so I got to fix. This is going to change things on here, I bet. No, it didn't. So, like, everything got a little goofed up on my live stream here, so hold on. It's coming. I had a green screen up before, and I took it down. Didn't need it up for now. So there we go. And then we'll get, there it is. Research flat earth and realize that nothing works. He is joking, says Punchy. Very nice. So I kind of thought so. The bad grammar is a good giveaway there too. So, all right, Jack, I'm going to unmute myself so you can hear me. Oh, there you go. He said, God, no, I'm not a flurf. Okay. So I got, I don't drink pop generally, but this pop I'll drink. And I get it, and Whole Foods sells it. It's sweetened with stevia instead of the other artificial sweeteners. So there we go. Did you hear it open? This is for you. It's kind of got some water in it already. This is for you, 33UC. Yeah, can I get some tabs, people? almost to the top there. There we go. Joey D says, it's not pop, it's soda. I live in Minnesota. It's pop. Punchy, can you get me some of this? Can you give me the hookup? I know it's not your company you work for, so. So, how are you, Jack? What do you think of that flat Earth research there that this person put together? A lot of hard work into that and intelligence. It's the just imagining that the Earth's magnetic field constantly moves, and imagining that it basically has all whatever magical properties you want it to have. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's great. So I got some memes here, and I know you wanted to talk about the let's see, the phased array antenna. So do you want to do that first or memes first? All right. Yep. All right. I gotta set up my thing so you can see it too. So I sign in. I'm kind of figuring out a way to do this. I'm signing into Zoom with an anonymous browser, right? And then I share that screen to you so that you can see what I'm doing. Yeah. Now they can hear you. Now they can, because I'm a professional. So yeah, they can hear you now, Jack.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Now can they hear me?
Sorry.
All right. Oh, they missed my hentai story.
You know, that might not be all that bad.
Oh, hang on, someone's calling me. Give me 1 sec.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I'm gonna show this meme here. This one. This is a vehicle. It's the back of a pickup truck, right?
All right.
And it has so much woo on it. If you are addicted to cat and dog, you have a nanochip on your body. Something fakes videos of the truck and spread the news in the internet. Takes videos, photos of the truck and spread news. Well, that's what I'm doing, I guess. All diseases are created with computer. All caries, all dental diseases, all skin diseases, and all venereal diseases with a B are created with computer. You have diseases on your body. You have a nanocomputer chip on your body. More than 200 years of computer diseases. Say no to terrorist 21. Oh, what the hell? What new insanity is this? I didn't really read it all. I read the thing where it said venereal diseases with a B. I thought, okay, this is going on. No, what, as fellow software developer, I'm wondering what languages you use and your favorite. I use, let's see, hold on a second. I use, most of my stuff is in Java, and I do like Java a lot. I like that it is strongly typed. I would not want to do a long-term, multi-year project in a language that's not strongly typed. We use PHP for our website, And there's problems with that. Now, it's because of compile time errors. Because you can't, strongly typing. But PHP and loosely typed languages are getting a lot of help from IDEs. So there you go. There's a little nerd for you. I'll come back to computer programming later maybe. So are you still there, or are you on the phone, Jack?
I'm still here.
Okay, you're done with the phone? All right.
Yeah.
Say no to terrorists, 21. What's that 21 at the end, you think?
I don't even know.
I don't know. All pain, all
Oh,
infection.
I think they're saying vote someone and that'll get rid of the, I don't know, terrorists in 2021 or something.
Okay. And it's got this picture of this dude with the giant shoulders and the one eye.
By the way, I can't see it.
You can't see it. What?
No.
What am I? I thought I was sharing it. Hold on a second. Share screen. Application window. Share. You see it now?
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Oh, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. Notice right in the middle, all caries, all dental diseases, all skin diseases, and all venereal diseases are created with computer. So then it says, say no to terrorists 21, or Prime Red thinks terrorist 2.1. I don't know. All pain, all infections, all inflammations, and all irritation are created with computer. All cancer and all type of tumor are created with computer. Oh, it's got to be Agenda 21. So there you go. 200 years of viruses created by computers. No, that's not right. That's just insanity. So there you go. Let's see. I got. Oh, this. Okay, this guy here.
That's it.
Ricardo Matos.
Mm-hmm.
It was they like to send pictures of stuff that they don't really understand and then say it makes the earth flat. So this is the shadow of an airplane being cast on the clouds, and the airplane is above the clouds, right? And behind that is the sun.
So what's his point? I don't
So
get it.
well, they don't understand crepuscular rays. They don't understand perspective, right? So if the plane is farther away than the shadow, the plane is going to be smaller due to perspective, right? So yeah, it's all a mystery to them, just like magnetism. So all right, so this guy, yeah, this proves the sun is local. And then he sends this one here, the sun spiral. Now this is like a bunch of people in a crowd, right? And I'm like, well, what are you talking about? What is this? And this spiral is not an actual picture. It's added in, right? But they're like, I'm like, what is that? And so he sends this comment here. I asked about measurements. I said, do you have measurements of the distance to the sun? Because rather than provide measurements, they all say, well, you just believe it's 93 million miles. Like, well, tell you what, I'll show you how we know that it's 93 million miles. You show me how you know it is, insert your distance here. And they don't do that. But so I said, I asked about measurements. This is what you have. He goes, I have proofs, evidences, not calculation. You know English. I'm sorry, you seem confused about how science works. Are you just a science denier? And then he goes, in 1920, 10,000 people saw the sun doing a spiral. And apparently that's his picture of it or something. Yeah, Vroom Fondle, was that taken by Van Gogh?
I would think in the 1920s, if you pointed the camera at the sun, it just burn out the camera.
Yeah, cameras in the 20s were not that good. So, now, all right, I like this one here. They always do this one as if this somehow has any merit, number one. And number two, as if it's correct, right?
Okay.
So
Sun's distance from the Earth. No. Tycho Brahe. What are those
so
quotation marks on the right hand side supposed to
those
be
are
at?
ditto marks. So million miles would be what that means.
Okay.
They couldn't write out million miles apparently. So the question is, did Copernicus think, or did he calculate the sun to be 3 million miles away? Right? I don't know. I'm just going to guess here that that's not even correct information. Right? So let's do this. Let's Google something that flat earthers don't have access to. How far did Copernicus think?
I read through parts of Newton's paper on physics. I don't remember 28 million miles.
Yeah. So let's see. How far did Copernicus? Now, I don't want to spend a long time reading a bunch of stuff, so.
Excuse me for one moment. I'm going to grab myself a drink too. Watching
Sure.
you drink is making me thirsty.
I talked about the sun and planets. Earth revolved around the sun. The sun is fixed, and our spheres revolve around the sun. I don't see here. So if anybody here in the live chat can see... Here we have Justin Franks sent astronomical unit. Oh, yeah. That's now, right? So what did Copernicus, Tycho Brahe, Kepler, Newton, Martin in 1754, Encke in 1869, what did they all think of the distance? Now these Martin, these last four, they may be, that might be what they did, and they got it better. So, okay, under history, it has a chart of there. Very good. Historical measurements. So, Aristarchus, Archimedes, Huygens. I don't see Copernicus on here. Solar pair in AU. Okay, so I don't see any of these. Here, Ptolemy in the 2nd century had a very close one. But nothing on Copernicus. On this chart here that I could check in the list of sources, yeah. The list of sources of the memes never include sources. So we've got 1635, Godefroy Wendelin, who's not on this list, had it at about 0.6 AU, so that's going to be, just over half, a bit over half of 93, maybe 50 million miles. Not bad in 1635, right? And then Huygens in 1659 had it 1.068 of our current AU. Pretty good. And everybody since then has been either 1.0 something or 0.99 something or better, or 0.92 is somebody in 16, right? So I think, so I don't know. I don't want to look at it right now, but don't you know? To flurfs memes are sources, exactly. Well, how do you know that's true? I saw it in a meme.
Circular logic there, but okay.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what they're good at. Can you imagine how much flash powder they'd need to overpower the sun when taking a picture of the sun? So there you go. It looks, now if these were the right numbers, they probably cherry picked them, and rather than picking, people that had better measurements, closer measurements, right? Like I would go with Huygens, right? But here's the more important thing: science improves over time, and so if Copernicus did measure it to be 3 million miles, analyze his methodology, and Was it wrong? We'll find out, right? Do it and then find out if it's wrong, and then find out why it was wrong. Then use updated information and see if maybe you can identify that and come out with the correct answer. So
It's the same thing with the what's it called? The Cavendish experiment, where you're trying to determine the gravitational constant. The scientific community has done that experiment and variations of it for the past couple hundred years now. And I recently read through a paper using a new method that basically, instead of having a candle light, used a laser light to get a very precise measurement. And the spindle that they suspended the weights on was incredibly thin, so that its mass was basically negligible. And they could figure out the torque constant to a very high degree of precision. So people are like, "Oh, you trust these figures from a couple hundred years ago?" It's like, no, we've improved on them since then.
yeah, and I never referenced Cavendish himself, right? He did a good job, and you can look at that and say, yeah, pretty close, and definitely showed that gravity works, right? Mass attracts mass.
Cavendish wasn't even trying to find the gravitational constant. That term didn't even exist in his day.
No,
he was trying to find
the density.
The density of the Earth, but that corresponds with a value of G.
So he inadvertently output G, big G. But so I have 16 citations of modern measurements of the gravitational constant on my website there at mc2.net/G. So there you go. 16 of them. So if anybody's like, they can't even blah blah gravity in a lab, there it is. 16 measurements of Earth's of the strength of gravity. I'll show you here. My favorite. So these are cool, and these are done in like vacuum chambers and stuff. This is a vacuum chamber. Inside of there is the actual like apparatus. Yeah, and the torsion wire in here is in here. Those balls that sit in these different circles that they move around to get, they repeat it over and over and over again. To get different, right, to put it in different spots and test the torsion and all that, and then they use that and they factor it all in. It's really cool. It's much better done than any flat earther experiment. This is a Chinese one, again in a vacuum chamber. This is like the inside of the chamber on the right side here. Mm-hmm. Rigorous work, actual effort put in, not just somebody taking a picture and it's too far and not understanding why. You might see a little farther and say it's flat. So
I mean, that thing flat earthers never do work?
Oh no, nothing ever works that they do. How you doing, Crashes? Good to have you.
Oh, I'm doing good. I had to get home from work before I could join.
If you want to see some really stupid involving pictures and video, just look at the Fox News presentation of those new UFO videos the Navy just released.
Oh, jeez.
Jeez.
If you want to look at awesome flat earth science, just look at anything from the plain truth and how out of focus it is. We don't need a clear image. We get all the data we need from this blurry, out of focus photo.
But the first time I debated him, he's like, "You got this," and then you no, look at this, and it's all showing all of his rotten photos, and I'm like, I totally agree with you. Every one of them is too blurry, out of focus, and refracted to use.
He was on Sean G. Him and Sean G. met up and took some beautiful observations, and the largest container ship in the world went through the background. The plain truth refuses to go over that footage at all. It is perfectly clear. There's very minimal refraction. You can read the lettering on the ship behind the oil rigs.
Nice and clean,
Great.
huh?
Yeah. And Travis refused. Travis took that footage and refuses to go over that footage.
I wonder why.
Oh, this picture's funny.
Yeah, all right. So this one here, this says, "I'm not a scientist. I'm an artist. I know perspective and lines. The earth is flat." No.
Let's translate that. I'm not educated in geometry and optics. I know how to make things look pretty. Therefore, the earth is flat.
That's their usual argument.
I love when they pull out the crepuscular rays, because then I bring out mine where, you got it above the road, and then the line's coming down, and you just triangulate. You're like, oh, the sun is 12 feet above the road.
Oh, I heard a new one on gems earlier today on my sundials that some magical force we don't know about is causing the light to refract exactly 5 degrees every time the sundial updates in a very particular pattern throughout the day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's just desperation, you know.
Yeah, it's they don't have any way for, they can make certain arguments for regular sundial, but the digital sundials I've been printing only works with the light circling over it, rotating. It's the only way it works.
Yeah. Can you imagine a flat Earth railroad with all the trains converging to a point the trains would derail halfway there? Alex D is falling asleep because it's 4 a.m. for him. Are you in the UK? Must be. All right, this one here. This is the epitome of cherry picking. So here's the first people to climb.
You mean epitome?
No, I mean epitome. The first people to climb Mount Everest. And the first man on the moon. And they're like, this is like a long news conference, and they cherry pick certain parts of this. But I've seen other parts of this where they're smiling and laughing. So I guess you can find any part, and then that's what it all was, I guess. So there you go.
Yeah,
That looks like me at my high school graduation. I was just so done with it.
like right after they got out of their quarantine, wasn't it?
This was, yeah. But there's other pictures of the same conference where they're laughing and smiling. So there you go. Yes, Stringer News 1, epitome. I was just using hyperbole.
Stringer News needs to go watch some more of the JM Truth videos and catch up on mispronunciations and spelling errors.
Oh, I work with a guy from Tanzania, and his mispronunciations are a lot of fun. He gets a lot of them.
That's different than somebody who's grown up here and still says he was abandoned in the desert.
Abandoned in the desert.
Just for reference, I am wearing right there. 10 to the negative 17 is a negative number. So yeah, I'm too small on the screen. You can't even see it anyway, and it's way off. Anyway,
That was one of his best quotes when he came out. I'm a physicist with Nathan the first time and said, it's a negative number. That was a great.
And he dug in too. He didn't just let it go. Like, he dug in. So
He dug in deep on that one.
yeah. All right. Here's the sun close meme. Ugh. They just claim real photos of the sun are fake for no reason, and then say there's dome above it real. See the clouds behind our real sun? No, that's just wispy clouds. Our sun is close. All right, what's the measurement? How far away is it? Oh, I don't know. It's just close.
I told some flat earther that in Gems earlier today. I said, if you give me the math for where the sun's at on your flat earth, I'll do the math and I'll build a sundial based on your math, and we'll see whose works.
One does not simply ask a flirf to do math.
I know. It's like, I don't know. It's like against their, I don't even know if they can add 2 + 2 sometimes.
Nah. So, all right. Salt flats meme. Oh, this one here. Bolivian salt flats. The mirror effect impossible on a sphere. Earth is a flat plane. So you cannot see, definitely cannot see 70 miles there, right? In 70 miles, there's 1 degree of curve. Can you see 1 degree of curve with your eyes? You could have the smallest mirror in your bathroom have 1 degree of curve on the surface of it, and you wouldn't know.
It's just amazing the amount of stuff they'll reach for just to reach for it.
Yeah. So everybody say hi to Green Bullion /33UC. He's here. He thinks I need his help.
Oh, he thinks you're owned by Russian vids.
Poor Russian vids. keeps losing his channel.
Did he lose his channel again?
I don't know.
Again.
I can't be bothered to care. He's just a ding-a-ling. So the thing is about the Bolivian salt flats is they measured it. They actually they did a pretty detailed survey of it. And number one, they referenced WGS 84. Number two, there are undulations on it, 40 centimeters high, due to gravity. Oops.
Nice.
Oops. So
You said that G word, all the flurfs are going to attack you for that.
I said what?
So you said the G word, all the flurfs are going to come out and attack you.
Gravity. Ooh. Thing is, none of them can replace it, right? There's a 9.8 meters per second squared downward acceleration. If it's something else, explain it so in a way that outputs 9.8 meters per second squared, right? Not only that, though, because we can do better than that. The downward acceleration is different all over the Earth, and it's been measured over and over and over again for the last 50 years. They started in 1971 with the newest standard, the IGSN 71 standard. And they've measured the same location over and over and over again with these high 9 digits of precision gravimeters. And the variances from year to year to decade is down in the 8th and 9th digit. Okay? We can calculate using gravity, the distance to the center of the Earth from that position, using just the spheroid, not the WGS 84 spheroid, and centripetal force. We can measure that to 0.1% error or better. They can't even output 9.8 meters per second squared. They got nothing. Nothing at all. So, all right. Here we got the top of power lines must be setting.
I saw that one earlier today too.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the deal about those power lines. We can use triangulation to know where any of those should appear on the picture and predict it accurately, right? So if we know the 20th one away is a certain distance away is a certain height, we can know its angular height above the horizon there.
Yep. But again, you go back to math and geometry, which I've come to the conclusion that flat earthers just have a problem with 3-dimensional shapes and geometry, period.
Yeah. Punchy. I had a flurf in real life ask me what an image in a telescope was when I asked him about seeing planets in a telescope. Same old flurf rhetoric. Oh.
That's that magical NASA telescope that's got the CGI built into the lens, right?
Yeah. Apparently. So, I'm not going to show the Challenger pic. I really don't like that. That makes me disgusted. So let's see. How does the sun produce this in a single place in the world if the sun illuminates the earth like this? It's because you don't understand perspective.
Exactly. And I agree with you on the Challenger too. Just like that idiot you had we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
It's all more the same at this point.
Yeah. All right, this one's no.
I don't know Jack. Has he not dealt with our flat Earth friends yet?
Yeah, he has. He's a
Eric Rodriguez. Oh,
he debated one of the dumbest ones.
Oh, my classmates, they tuned in for that, and holy shit, did I get a lot of smack for it the next day. They all complained to me about how many brain cells they lost right before a quiz.
Yeah, this guy was he wasn't even Flurf 101. He was Flurf 92. That's how bad. So he's like, how do you explain that the airplane doesn't dip its nose? And Jack's talking about angles, right? It's dipping certain angles, right? And the guy's like, but what's that in miles?
What?
He doesn't understand angles. He's like, and then he so doesn't understand angles that he says normal people don't understand angles. Normal people do. You don't understand them, Eric, right?
Some of us have to use angles all day, every day for our jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, not for his job.
What should I call this guy? I don't want to keep calling him Crashes here. Do I have a first name that I could just go by, or?
We call him Crashes.
Yeah, it is it's what everybody in real life calls me too.
Oh shit. All right. So the thing that Eric said that is quoted repeatedly by my classmates at this point is, "I'm a simple man. I can't think in degrees, only miles."
Whose channel was that debate on?
That was on my channel.
Was it? I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that.
That guy, he was just so. Oh, it was. I felt bad for him. Like, you're so out of your element, dude. It's just so far out.
He also couldn't understand that if you go 360 degrees in a circle, you end back at the same spot.
Wow, that's pretty simple to explain. Crank the wheel in your car all the way to the left and just go until you end up back where you left. That's 360 degrees.
Yes, but this is the part that screwed me. He goes, but isn't that a circumference of 40,000 kilometers? I'm like, yes. And he goes, but you end up at the same spot that you started at. I'm like, yes. And he goes, so how could you have traveled 40,000 kilometers?
Some people, and that's why I've come to the conclusion after dealing with many flat earthers that they just cannot conceptualize 3D space or geometry at all. There's some disconnect. I haven't figured out what it is yet.
Yeah, and then when they start talking about like, oh, relativity is a sham, 4D stuff, I'm like, you can't understand 3 dimensions, let alone 4. Don't even get me started.
I told them, and the same thing I tell most of them in gyms, is that if you can't understand the basics, why should we jump to the theoretical stuff until you start have some kind of grasp on basic? There has to be a point of intelligence we can all agree on and expand from there. Otherwise, we're just all chasing our tails in circles.
Yeah.
33 UC is in there asking me to tell the mods to back off. I'm here to battle the globe heads, he says.
I'll take him on anytime he wants to come on. He just has to follow your channel's rules and show himself.
You got to show yourself. As soon as you do that, and he tells me on Twitter, he's like, I don't want to I'm too handsome. I don't want to distract people.
I'm probably 3/4 of the way to being as ugly as Reds, and I've showed my face on stream.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he actually probably looks like the guy from the Goonies.
My rant upload I did the other day, I looked like a Martian because of the lighting in front of my garage when I got home from work. Those are uploading now, by the way. They should be done sometime while I'm sleeping, and I can go through them in the morning.
Yeah, I like my hair short. It's gotten so bad that it's starting to wrap around my ears, and if this is like what it's like to be a woman, I don't like it.
I've had 2 haircuts, so you know.
Kristen Laser Beams is mad because I screwed up since I couldn't go to the barber to get my beard trimmed, and I had to shave it all off. She's mad now. She said it should be illegal to have my face anywhere without my beard.
Oh, let's see what I gotta see what Loudmouth 33 is. Let me read it. I'll read you the actual words. So yeah, he does all caps lock for a while. He's like, oh yeah, this is great. He thinks that he used to think that he had the most views while he was on debating me, right? He goes, I want on that show, otherwise I'm starting my own show, and you're going to get 200 people like me coming to your channel, keeping you in check. Don't fire me up. Let me on the show. No, you won't. Besides, I hold the live record. You have everything to gain. So I'm like, really? So I pulled up the video from him. And I'll just put it up here. So this is let's see, save image. This is funny. So I Like, oh well, let's pull it up because I have the actual YouTube channel. That is my YouTube channel, so I can pull it up. And downloads by date today. And there it is, the actual live stream numbers from when 33UC was on. Had a peak. Now this was in July. Had a peak of 118. Now he said that he had the record, right? So last week I had Michael Geppert, something like that. Nobody had ever heard of him before. He agreed to it a couple hours before. So, and how many did I get during that?
I think you were well above that number.
221 was peak. So that's unknown guy, and that's 33UC who's claiming that he has the record. Right. So then, of course, as they always do,
out those is the new guy's numbers stayed consistent for the whole show, where his peaked and kind of dropped off.
Yeah, he stopped being interesting when he kept saying the same thing, I think. So, but here's the deal: what do flat earthers do when they're shown to be wrong?
Obfuscate, change the subject.
They move something. They move something.
Oh, the goalposts get hot.
They move the goalposts. So he goes, your subscriber base was much lower then. I 100% hold the record on the Worms show, which he's talking about FTFE. You still talk to They Weasel. And yeah, I do talk to FTFE.
Wow. He's so angry he can't even type correctly anymore.
I know. So, anyway, he's saying I need fresh content. Apparently, he thinks he's fresh content. F33UC, you're so last July.
If he follows your rules, I will debate him specifically on the digital sundials I'm making. Nothing else, just that topic, so he can actually bring something to the table as evidence.
Dude, 33UC, you come on. You could have the 10 o'clock show for a month, because different people are gonna want to, put you in your place. We'll have 12 viewers concurrent, probably, maybe 10. No, you know what? People would come on. We'd make it good because Globers would be there making it fun. So, and you'd be there doing what you do.
So, while you're on your analytics page, how many people watch the bacon and pineapple debates?
Well, that was those were screenshots that I sent him, but I'll pull that up quick.
Oh, I thought you actually had them up.
No, that wasn't. But yeah, that's a good one. That was. Let's see. Videos. Live. So let's see. Pineapple. Analytics. Let's see. Engagement. I don't know where it is. Audience. I don't even know where to look. I don't do it that often. I don't like going to the analytics all the time. So,
yeah, I haven't played with it much since the new update. Other than
there it is. 105 was the max. So not that great for the pineapple on pizza. That was concurrent. All right, I gotta get. There it is. All right, and then. Canadian bacon, epic debate. Concurrent max 108, so same thing. About
it's underneath of him.
Yeah, yep. I mean, you came below 33UC by just that much. So we got timed out again. Oh, poor 33.
Probably difference of his 10 stock accounts being there or not.
Oh no, that was everybody likes to time him out from the old one. They'll scroll back and time him out. Oh, and Dora. Hello, Dora. I like how Mr. Sensible says your name. He says Doranq. And I've heard him say that and I'm like, "Oh, that's Dora." Yep. So, all right, let's. I gotta pull up these. I got just like a couple more memes to go over here. The 5G nonsense. Oh, these 5G nutters are insane. They're as bad as the flat earthers.
I think they're worse than flat earthers personally. But...
Yeah, they won't debate. Like I've invited tons, and I got one guy next week. A guy's coming. I think that should be good. He's a pretty decent guy actually. So all right, coming soon. One vaccine may contain 1 billion nanobioelectronics. No, not at all. Nanochips. You don't understand any of that. So then, Wi-Fi bioelectric noise. Wi-Fi electrophysiological sensor in the brain, apparently. Electrocardiogram sensor, wireless pressure device, right? So some of these things they're actually working on. Wi-Fi motion sensor, bioelectric skin, right? But none of this is like a injection.
I have a Wi-Fi motion sensor. It's called my smartwatch.
Yup. So now, do you know nanobioelectronics? You didn't finish the sentence. AI talking through a satellite to the 5G communication network, mind, body, money, global control system, cryptocurrency. Here's the deal. I'll bet you all the money I have that there won't be a cryptocurrency. You pick the date. Or that there won't be like getting rid of the dollar in favor of a cryptocurrency controlled by the government. You don't understand any of this stuff.
This is just amazingly weirdly worded meme.
Yeah. Nanobioelectronics. 5G talks to an app on your phone. Bluetooth then talks to the nanobioelectronics that are injected into your body.
And that equates to mind control?
I don't know. They don't even know what they're saying. And of course, AI, everybody assigns whatever they want to AI. AI doesn't do whatever you want it to do. It
does what it's programmed to.
Yeah, you have to write software. And you want to add new features to it, you have to add more software to it. So, I write software. We use AI. It's not what you think it is. It's quite useless. All right, this one's great. This is amazing.
I saw one the other day. It was AI that can learn on their own are going to take over the world, and that's the ever present them. That's their plan.
Yes, the nameless, faceless they.
Yeah, I love that. It's funny because if they ever did post AI like that onto the internet or something, it's just gonna get ruined by 4chan and other griefing websites. Like they're let's say the Illuminati makes a an AI that can learn on its own. People are just gonna troll it into making Nazi memes.
That's the only thing it's gonna do. All right, so 44 base pairs in human. Is that I don't even know. Is that right?
I don't know.
I'm not a biology major.
Yeah.
We need Jordan here.
Yeah, we need Jordan. Is he here? I don't see him in the chat. Maybe he'll pop in. He was on earlier, so.
Yeah, I'll text him.
22 base pair DNA model stereo image. The elite want to add 22 more with nanotechnology. 3 strands of 22, making it the number 322, which is Skull and Crossbones' number. And Genesis 322, apparently? I don't know. The man has now become like one of us.
He's in the chat. He's in the chat.
The amount of hoops they have to jump through to come up and connect some of this stuff is amazing.
Oh, yeah. But why would they want to add more pairs of DNA?
This is gonna kill you.
What's it gonna do?
Yeah, why don't Jordan is in the chat. Why don't we invite him on and he can explain to us the
humans have 26 pairs of chromosomes, says Chris. Chris Katsolis.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure base pairs refers to something else though.
Anyway, you just make up stuff. Somebody sees this as, oh wow, that's amazing.
That's like Russian version of being everything together through numerology.
Yeah.
Like you can literally make anything work with his crazy conspiracy on that.
Heat Shield says I uses a modified 5G Rubik's Cube as a mouse. That'd be great to get a Rubik's Cube mouse. Let's see. Last week, 33 kept switching accounts, so I hid his sock, and you may have forgotten to unhide it. Don't know if you want to unhide it or not. Just letting you know. I did go through before this and unhid a bunch of a couple that had been blocked. So they're talking about diploid minus the sex pair. Apparently, that's what Jordan says. So, all right, I got two more. I got one sent in by Greg, which is Nathan Thompson. You can't love God and social distance at the same time. Forget be fruitful and multiply. How do you lay hands on and pray for people if you're a massage therapist, chiropractor, hairstylist, makeup artist, and that's your gift? How do you do that 6 feet away from people? Wake up, guys. This was never about cartoon bugs. It's an attack on our God and Constitution. The New World Order is real, and multinational corporations like Walmart just took over the marketplace. Stay woke out there. Well, you better hope that it doesn't go back to normal, because then you'd
Do you think this guy actually read the Constitution of whatever country he's in? I somehow doubt it.
Nathan couldn't understand the Constitution if it was read to him in kindergarten language and colored with crayon.
He seems to have gotten the right to life part of the Constitution that exists in most countries.
Yeah.
He's a very special idiot.
Yep.
No, he's special.
I wonder how long it's going to be before he has to move again from another warrant.
So, all right, here's my last meme. I love this one. Isn't that great? When you need to trigger the all conspiracy theorists on your friends list at once. The flying chemtrails spreading 5G masts shooting vaccines.
That's actually pretty good.
So there it is. Oh, I love this one. So somebody posted this in my 5G group on Facebook, which is 5G Facts Not Fiction. I'm going to post that a link to that for people if they want to join. I should put that in my my description probably. Well, thanks.
I prefer the darker memes personally.
Yeah, so my Facebook group is not about mockery, ridicule, and memes. It's actually meant to be kind of serious. There are some 5G groups that are definitely for mockery and ridicule, and they're great. You should totally, oops, wrong stream there. You should totally go to them. So like 5G Myths Busted, 5G Separating Truth from Conspiracy. There's one called 5G Resistance that is totally unregulated. I don't know if the moderators even are paying attention there. So there's one called 5G Facts All You Need to Know, which is also quite unmoderated. And so there's a whole bunch of crazies in there. But you don't get timed out or blocked because... So that was a good one to post in. So, all right. Jack, that's all the memes I have.
Okay.
You know what that means.
Oh. Yeah.
It's all on you.
That's unfortunate. Oh, I missed the memes though already. My favorite meme was, what was it? There's two things that will never get old. Jokes about anti-vaxxers and the anti-vaxxers' children. that would kill me.
I missed most of them. When I was working, I could jump in as soon as I got out the truck.
Oh, jeez. That's good. My sister did not get, it's sad. She didn't get her, the DTaP or MMR for her kid, and her kid got pertussis.
Damn.
So there you go. All right, Jack, are you going to present something, or what are you going to do?
Yeah, let me just find a couple of GIFs that'll be useful, I guess, just so I can have
Did
them
you
on.
say GIF with a J sound when you meant GIF with a G sound?
Yes, he did. But you gentlemen have a good one. I'm going to go join the wife and have some dinner.
All right, thanks, Crashes.
Yep, I've got some uploads coming in the next couple days. We've got the Apollo camera files. I have the original mechanical drawings that I'm uploading right now.
Oh,
They'll be
that's
done.
cool.
And I have the original Hasselblad EL500 drawings to compare them to. So I'll be going over some of that stuff on my channel this week. I
Ooh.
should off work the next couple days so I can get some of the editing done on those and get them uploaded. But y'all have fun.
That's cool. Yeah, go find Crashes on YouTube if you're not subbed already.
And if you find anybody that wants to do an actual debate, let me know, because I've been getting bored and they all want to run and hide from me.
Yeah. Yep. Michael Geppert from last week has not replied to my messages, so I don't know if he's a little angry at me or something, but I'll send him another message, see if he...
Yep, anybody you can set me up with. Just let me know what topics they're going over so I can actually prepare, do something similar to Factard or something nice for our actual debate.
Yep.
So, you guys have a good one. Have fun.
All right. So, Jack, you working on something? Because I got Gary who wants to answer a question.
Oh.
Gary Wybenga. All right, are you ready for this? I got a question for you, Gary. I need to know. He was timed out. All right. What's that, Jack?
If he wants to ask a question, you can go
I'll
ahead.
ask the question. So, Gary, here's the deal. You have a triangle. You have side 18,000, angle 90, side 3,000, right? Solve the triangle. Now, this is a closed internet test. You may not Google the answer. You may not go to a triangle calculator on Google. You can use two things. Any books that you have nearby, in your house or wherever, or your brain, and I would allow the brain of any other person that's in your presence there. So to know how to do it. Now you can also then use a calculator that just has sine, cosine, tangent, plus, minus, times, divide. So that's all you get. Can you solve the triangle? Now here's the hilarious thing. Flat Earth Aussie Jesus doesn't even know what it means when I say solve a triangle. That's how bad he is at that. So I'm gonna just draw this out for you because I got a ruler, and it's easy to draw. 90, 3,000, 18,000. I'll put in the diagonal for you even. So this is your math quiz. And I'm going to ask Jack, who is younger than you, if he can do it.
Okay.
Right? There it is.
So 18,000.
Gary Wybenga. All right, we'll let Gary stew on that for a little bit. There's your math quiz, Gary. Okay? And Jack, you cannot use the internet either.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So the side lengths, 18,000 and 3,000, in the middle of them is a 90-degree angle. So, all right. But Jack, you have a people are putting numbers out. I think Stringer News 1 might be onto something there. So. You got to get the angles, too. The missing two angles. Dor NQ says 1, 1, and 1. So, all right. Jack, if you want to present.
Yeah, I'm just finishing the last angle.
Okay. Oh, he's doing it. All right. Punchy, is that in empirical or metric? I don't do empirical. They are actually in sheep units. Those lengths are in sheep lengths, 18,000 sheep lengths, and 3,000 sheep lengths. So there you go. Hold on. Oh, Graham Price is not prepared for that. You missed the sides. 18,000 and 3,000 with a 90 degree in the middle there. Haywood
I got 'em all.
Djibouti keeps asking for the sides. 3,000, 18,000, and 90 degrees there on the in corner, making this a right triangle. On a 2D surface. This is not a spherical triangle. So Gary, if you come back with the right answer, bonus points. You get $1,000,000 flurf bucks. Are you getting it yet there?
Let me know when he gets it. I have all the angles.
You have it? Okay. You're funny. Let me know when he gets it. He's not going to get it. He's a flat earther. It's math. One does not simply ask a flat earther to do math.
Here, give me 1 sec. I think of switching over to my tablet so I can actually present.
Yeah.
I want to
kind
draw.
of thought you might. So, all right.
Yeah. And you all get to see my terrible haircut. And I'm gonna cry when that happens.
Yeah. Well,
All right, give me 1 sec.
I'm doing it myself. Fresh. Yep. I'm going to. So the angles are the difficult ones. Are those New Zealand sheeps or Welsh sheep? They're Scottish sheep. Very important distinction. Yes. This is. When I was debating JM Truth, I told him that the Scottish use sheep units. Everything based on sheep. And of course, he believed me. So mctune.net/sheep has all the sheep unit conversions that you need. There you go. One sheep length is 4.33 feet or 1.319784 meters. So there you go. A sheep mile is the length the sheep can walk in a mile without prodding. Sheep will not make a mile unprodded. This is undefined. One sheep toe, or just toe, is the width of an adult ram's toe, 0.43 inches. There you go. Very, very important. A depth is also a unit of length, but it's only meant to be used for depth. I should put this on the screen for you guys. I mean, you want to see this because we got Jack there working on some stuff there. So a depth, a 1 wool tom is the depth of the wool on the stomach of a 4-year-old North Country Cheviot ram during mating season, 8.3 inches. While this may seem a length analog unit, it's strictly forbidden to use wool tom to measure anything other than depth. And see the Interscott Standardization meeting of 1734. So their minutes on that are very detailed when they have their meetings. So I can't believe I wrote this. Sheep will not walk a mile unprodded. Thus, this is undefined. How long is 3 shakes of a lamb's tail? I think that's a unit of time, isn't it? And there is no unit of time. Maybe that's what we need to do there, Stringer News 1. Are you ready, Jack?
Oh yeah, let's do this. All right, let's do that share screen thing.
I'm getting you ready.
Okay.
I'm going to make sure it's the right size for you so we can see everything.
All right.
Moving things around. There it is. So we see what time it is there.
11:24.
Yep. All right. Proceed.
All right. So I've seen a lot of very misguided information on Facebook, because of course I would, regarding what are known as phased array antennas, and people are saying how they're bad for your health, blah blah blah. It all ties into 5G, and it really bewilders me because I mean, if you ask these people what a phased array is, they will have no idea. So let's just lay down some groundwork. Let's just consider two waves, okay? All right, and let's consider another one. So watch this. Ready? When you, come on, work with me here. If you superimpose them over each other, so in other words, if they're colliding, what's going to happen? They're going to cancel out. That's called destructive interference. Yeah, very technical term. Now, if we were to do, say, something like that, actually, no, let's do it like this. Now, if we superimpose that, and that was a bad drawing, but you get the idea. What's going to happen? It's going to basically increase the amplitude of those waves. It's called constructive interference. Another very technical term that was probably already beyond the comprehension of flat earthers and 5G conspiracy theorists alike. So with that out of the way, what is a phased array? So normally people consider the way we steer antennas with those old 70 movie screens where, you know, we'd have like a circle and then you have like a little thing that goes around, you know? Michael, you know what I'm talking about? Those old radar displays with the beam going across in a big circle.
Oh yeah, from like movies where they have from the airport control tower. Yes.
Yeah, and then they have like that image of the parabolic antenna array that's spinning around in a circle.
Yeah, it's outside. Yeah, everybody's watched Airplane.
Yeah, the big problem with those is that you can only look in one direction, and more importantly, that big motor they have to use to turn the antenna is something that can easily break down. So they came up with a way of steering the beam of the radar and having multiple beams without having to move the antenna. So get this right. Let's just consider a very simplified example. So let's say you have a bunch of waves. Actually, they can even be square waves if you want, that are approaching a double slit. And this is something you can actually do in a bathtub. Just take, say, a thing of cardboard, cut out two slits, stick it in the tub full of water, and then just push the water towards the cardboard. It'll create these big waves, and as they get through, you're going to get an interference pattern. So let me just move this down a bit. Doesn't want to cooperate. Come on. So what's going to happen is it's called diffraction, where the waves start to spread out from each of these slits. Now, as they start, as the waves from both slits hit each other, they're going to interfere, both constructively and destructively at certain points. And we're going to get these weird nodal lines where basically all the waves along those lines, they destructively interfere. And we get these points where all the waves will constructively interfere. And we can do this with any number of slits. So if I were to screen share my internet browser, let me try that. Why is that working for me? Let's do Google. There we go. This is just the first image that came up. Here, can you all see that?
Yeah.
So if you take a bunch of sources and then simply time the delay between different sources, you can get so that the constructive interference is in one direction and it destructively interferes in all other directions. And so this is basically how flat panel arrays. Yeah, someone's calling me. One sec.
Say hello for Tune. Hello. So our vet has said that I needed to add electric charge for sheep units. So I did. It's 1 Flossie is the amount of electricity generated by rubbing 1 sheep's wool along a greater Highland shepherd's hook. There you go. And then time 3 shakes of a sheep's tail. Unknown.
So now that you've all seen that that little graphic representation of what a phased array does, we can actually break it down to what specifics or the specifics of what happens at the flat panel. So the thing will actually let me scroll down for some reason. There we go. What we have is basically a bunch of sources, and they each emit a wave. And what modern radar antennas will do and this goes for radio antennas as well. So for example, those big 5G flat panel masts, is they'll time a delay between the sources so that we can control where the nodal lines appear and where the maximal lines appear, where the constructive interference allows the signal strength to be the largest. And there's two ways of doing this. The first is basically to have one big power source, we'll call S for source, and then along the route to each antenna, we could have a mechanism that basically causes a delay. And then we can just simply send an input to those little elements in the middle to control the delay between each source. Now, the more modern way to do this, because the problem is if you only have one source and that source breaks down, then your entire antenna just goes to crap, is that each of these becomes what's called its own active transmitter and receiver. And it's known as an AESA, active electronically scanned array. And so now instead of having one power source, you have thousands of these things along one big panel, and each of them just simply has their own delay that you would input to it with a computer of some sort. And this doesn't make it any more harmful than, say, a giant pole, a big monostatic antenna or a big parabolic dish. The only difference is that this has multiple emitting elements, and it's able to steer the beam without having to to actually mechanically move it. So
and the total allowed output doesn't change.
No, you can, let's say you have a 100-watt antenna, that doesn't become 1,000 watts just by arbitrarily changing it into a phased array. Now, the gain might change, and so here I'm still screen sharing this.
Yeah.
What we refer to gain is basically the directivity of the emitted, the emitted signal. So it's actually kind of funny. Gain is measured with respect to what's called an isotropic antenna, which is actually physically impossible, but it's just for purely geometric purposes. So when we say isotropic, it means it emits equally in all directions. And that's my best attempt at a circle.
Yeah, it goes out spherically, so that, and they call an omnidirectional antenna that's not actually omnidirectional, right? An isotropic is the one that goes out in a sphere. Omnidirectional goes out in a toroid, so it's a little bit of a misnomer.
Yeah. Now, let's say you have an antenna that, it's more like this, here's your antenna here. That would have more gain than an isotropic antenna, a hypothetical one.
Yeah.
And what happens is if you increase the number of arrays that are aligned with each other, then your gain, the maximum amount of gain, increases. So this is basically how, if you want to fit a certain radar on a fighter jet and you want to increase its range, you would just simply try and have a large aperture that contains as many different of these emitting sources as you can to increase the gain, and thus you get a much narrower beam where you can focus that output in one direction instead of having it spread out. So you might see these, you won't see the individual sources, but here, if I'm able to screen share. There we go. Let me just find a very simple one.
Double the aperture, double the gain.
Yeah. Oh, here's one. So this is a gigantic phased array. I think this one's used for missile defense. And this entire panel is just made up of these little emitting sources, and there's thousands of, actually probably tens of thousands of them in that one panel, and they're used for controlling the radar beam. And you see them in radio antennas as well. So if we look at, say, the 5G antenna mass.
Yeah, that one right there, I've seen a good amount.
Oh, here we go. These flat panels all contain hundreds of these little emitters and receivers. And it's one big electronically steered array, so that you don't have to actually turn this big mass to steer the beam. You just simply, you tell the software where you want to point it. It adjusts the delay between those emitters, and then it just steers the beam on its own. And there's nothing about this that makes it more harmful. The only difference that you could possibly get is the amount of gain you can get, but the power output isn't the same. So let's say you get 100 watts of power out of a parabolic dish. If you were to focus that in one direction so that it all hits someone, then sure, the amount of radiation they receive goes up, but 100 watts is still 100 watts. negligible, especially at most distances. You're not going to receive any harmful amount of radiation from this. You might heat up a little. The one that I saw that was quite interesting. Oh, what happened here? Is they use this as their argument. See if I saw it. Yeah, there we go. So this is also, I believe this is actually a big phased array as well.
No, that
And
that
it emits
has that at the front there. It has the that arm sticking out, right?
Yeah.
That looks to me
So,
like that's the emitter, and it's bouncing off that shield.
Yeah, right. Okay, so that would make more sense. This isn't what's it called, a phased array, but it's tricked a lot of people into thinking it is because I've only seen them where they basically crop out everything but that big flat panel dish.
Yeah.
And to me, it makes no difference if it is or not, because again, that doesn't really affect the power output. The point they're trying to make is that this flat panel is giving enough radiation to basically cause people enough discomfort for them to want to get out of the way. And then they say, here's a flat panel of a microwave weapon. They then show you a picture of a 5G mask. Goes, here's a flat panel. This is also therefore a weapon because it's another flat panel.
Yeah.
And the really funny part is the description they posted. They said, here's a U.S. military weapon. It's 100 kilowatts. Here's a 5G antenna. That's 100 watts. And I said, did you hear yourself?
It's 1,000 times more powerful.
Yes.
Oh. And that's where...
And they said this themselves.
So, where's my... I don't know. I had those Molex cables. So you know, little cables like this can carry 100 watts, right? But if you're going to carry 100 kilowatts, you know, 100,000 watts, you need a cable like this guy, right? There's not much light right here, so you can't see it. Let me go full screen. Right there. This is the thick, you know, I'm just rough. This is a rough estimation. This is how thick you need to have something to carry that much power about, you know. And you know, completely missing it. And of course that they're fed by a, you know, not enough power, not nearly enough power. Even bringing it there. So there's a lot of things. It depends on the frequency, but the power too, and the power is key. A lot of these studies that they look at, they took some really high power RF, and they put some not sheep. I got sheep on the brain. I must be Welsh, or Kiwi. They put sheep. Oh my gosh! Again, mice. In an environment with very strong RF, like really much stronger than you'd ever get from your cell phone, and then like, oh look, they had some health issues. Okay, so yep, let's be sure to not have that strong of radiation near us. And one way to do that, Jack, would be to use a phased array. And why will that reduce your amount of radiation or RF that you're experiencing?
You kept cutting in and out there. Can you just repeat that?
I was not cutting in and out. What are you talking about?
It's my mic that's causing me issues because my tablet's not supposed to have this thing on it. It's an Xbox headset.
We want to reduce the amount of received radiation, RF. That's a good thing, right? So if you want to do that, using a phased array is a great way to do that. And why?
You can just steer the beam away.
Exactly. So the person who is on the phone gets the signal that's the same strength signal that they'd get if it wasn't a phased array, right? But it's focused right at their location. Everybody else has less radiation because you get the destructive waves, right? Versus just a basic panel antenna that's 90 or 120 degrees wide. The entire field, everybody in the path gets the same amount of RF power that they receive just to get it to one device. So the phased array is a great way to reduce the amount of RF that any person who's not currently on the phone is going to get. So, yeah, Team Skeptic is a fan, I think. He says, Xbox headset on a tablet, flat earth tech at its finest. But Jack's not a flurf. Team Skeptic, do you know Jack? Jack Zhang, Team Skeptic.
I haven't had any dealings with them.
No?
No.
He's a lot of fun. So,
Yeah.
Oh,
I have a little trick that I want to show everyone.
Okay.
All right, here, let me just screen share again.
Good night, team.
All right, so you guys can see my my Chrome browser here.
Yes.
Okay, watch this. Right, ready? This is amazing. Google. If you ever want to do actual research, just go to this. It's so much better. Now, this will cut the amount of crap that you'll get from these conspiracy theories if they all did this by 90%. It's not because they will find good studies. Google Scholar cannot differentiate between a good study posted in The Lancet versus some crackpot study posted in some journal for crackpots. But what it will do is force you to go through. Well, actually, it's better if I just show you. So here, let's. Here, Michael, what's an interesting topic that you would like to see more research done
on? Rotation measurements of the Earth.
Okay, rotation measurements of the Earth. Let's just go through the first one. Abstract PDF. Okay, now here's the second trick. If you ever get to this point where it's not showing the full thing because it's hidden behind a paywall, I think it's actually illegal for me to do this, but whatever. Just go to a website called Sci-Hub, and then it'll pirate it for you so you can just see the whole thing.
Sci-Hub. All right, we can't see.
Oh, well,
we didn't see the whole thing here.
Sci-Hub. There we go. So here, if I want to take this, where's a DOI when I could?
It looks like it's in not American there.
It's Russian. It's an illegal website. What do you think? You're just gonna be Russian. All right, open. So here we have it, the full 9 pages of the study. Now, what flat earther is going to read through all of this? What 5G conspiracy is going to read through all of this?
They read the title and maybe, just maybe, the abstract.
Now, I will not even give them that much. The vast majority of them, they'll show you some blog article where they misquote someone or they misconstrue the argument being made, because that's the thing about popularized science. They have to dumb it down so that the average layman can understand it.
Yeah.
And so they'll read through the whole thing and goes, oh, it backs my claim. Now, show them this, and they're going to look at this and go, oh, I don't understand. This is actual, an actual research paper. And, I mean, I can actually understand some of this, but I'm not going to go through it because that's not the purpose of this. The point is, if you ever want to do actual research, go on Google Scholar, look for an actual paper, and if those conspiracy theorists did this, you'd cut down the amount of crap you get from them, because they would just give up. They read the title, goes, okay, Faraday rotation. It's electromagnetism, because Faraday. They read the introduction, and then they get lost as soon as they see theta.
Oh no, that's in a language I don't know. I did not know about Sci-Hub, and I still don't. On my website, I have quite a few lists of articles, right, and papers. Like the 16, I have 16 measurements of the value of G. I have 13 measurements of the rotation of the Earth. I have 6 measurements of Earth's radius. Now the radius ones, those are really big books. There's one that's 1,000 pages. I did not read it all, but generally the other ones, if I don't put it on there unless I've read it. Number one, I have to be able to get the PDF, and number two, I have to have read it. So, Team Skeptic, just out of curiosity, who's dumbing down the information, and what is the person's qualifications? Because scientists don't dumb stuff down for each other. Yeah, it's for general.
What I'm referring to
consumption.
is if you see something like the National Geographic or some, it's like the New York Times does a article on some new quantum mechanical project. There's no way they're actually going to explain the physics or whatever the field of science happens to be to the collective audience, because you have to conclude it's for everyone, 18-year-olds who want to be a plumber to maybe some people who are more academically inclined towards the hard sciences. So they're going to give you a very brief, superficial explanation of what's going on. and it gets to the point where it's usually wrong in many regards. Like they might use an analogy that's horrible for the purpose of actually learning it, like the those space-time diagrams I often see. You should never use those when you're trying to legitimately learn general relativity. But the scientists, they do what they can to give a simplified explanation for the journalist to understand. The journalist then rewords it in his work, and then people read it and they get the completely wrong ideas. So if you ever want to read actual science, go to the scientific literature, and the three big ones I would recommend are Science, Nature, and The Lancet.
Science, Nature, and The Lancet. So there you go.
Especially for 5G, because The Lancet's basically a big medical journal.
I don't do a lot of medical stuff. That's Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
cool. Well, it's been an hour and 45. I think we can kind of wrap it up here.
All right.
Clive Wells, if there are no equations, it's not properly explained, in my opinion. And that is the exact opposite of every flat earther.
They think math is magic.
They're like, you can prove anything with math. No, math is predictive. Then you test the prediction. If it doesn't work, then the math is wrong. It's not that.
Math is nothing but proofs.
Yeah.
Math on its own is nothing but proof. Applied math, you have to test how well your model predicts things.
Oh, so now Gary Wybenga did not show up again. He has left the building. So let's wrap up the quiz here.
Oh.
All right, the quiz. 18,000, 3,000, right triangle there. What's the difference? The hypotenuse there is an easy one because that's just a squared b squared equals c squared, right? So you square 18,000, you square 3,000, you add them together, and you hit the square root button. Not hard. No flat earther can do it still. The answer, 18,248. I think Stringer News 1 got it correct. Right there, 18,248. Now, how did you do the other two angles?
Arctan.
Arctan. Which is right. SOHCAHTOA. Right? TOH. SOHCAHTOA. TOH. Tangent is opposite over A. TOA. Ha! Adjacent. TOA. So 3,000 divided by 18,000. Right? Divide gives you 0.16 repeating. And then you go inverse, tangent, and it gave it to me in radians. Dang.
Why? That's you should keep it in radians. That's what the trigonometric functions are defined in.
Screw radians.
No. In non-engineering math, we keep it as radians.
Screw radians, man. All right, what did you come out with?
I got theta 1 I said was the small angle to the left.
Yep.
Is 0.17 radians.
Yeah, but nobody understands radians. I'm a simple man.
Okay,
I can only do it in miles.
And the other one is 1.41 radians. The way to test that these are accurate, the internal angles of a triangle add up to pi radians. So we have one angle that's pi by 2 radians. Add pi by 2 with 0.165, 1.40, and it should add up to pi.
Oh, look at that. Clive Wells. 9.46. And 80.53.
Oh, did he put in degree? Oh.
The reason, people don't do radians. So here's the reason why I'm doing that. It is on the flat Earth, from the southern tip of South America, about 18,000 miles to the subsolar point, in the middle of the night, on December 20th, which is the their summer solstice. That's the farthest point that the subsolar point is ever away from any point on Earth that is land where people live other than Antarctica. So that is the most extreme, the most beneficial position possible on flat Earth. And the sun is 9.46 degrees above true level. It can never set. Oh, Team Skeptic. So Team Skeptic was a radar tech, and now he's got a challenge for you, Jack. Ask him if he can prove that the sum of all positive integers does not equal -1/12.
That's trivial.
Trivial.
Yeah, I'll do it right now. Yeah.
Oh my
I know what he's referring to, and it pisses me off, to be honest. But all right. So, sum I equals 1 of
You ready, team?
I where n is an element of a set of natural numbers. How do I draw the? Yeah, that's good enough for me. Okay, so n is an element of the natural numbers. We're going to sum up from 1 all the way up to infinity. We'll apply the limit test. The limit as I approaches infinity of ni is equal to infinity.
And just so you know, Clive Wells is going to correct your work here.
Okay, so since the limit as that should not be right. Limit as n approaches infinity. Since the limit as n approaches infinity does not equal 0, therefore the series diverges. Now, I know why this is a problem, where people like to say, oh, the sum of the natural numbers is equal to -1/12. So, to give a very brief explanation, we have something called the Riemann zeta function, and I always have to look up how to draw zeta because I don't know why it throws me off. This is not the best Greek letter for me to work with. But if we have the Riemann z,
it's just a z. Yeah. Come on.
No, it's not a z. Have you seen? Yeah, sure. So the Riemann zeta function,
except for Clive.
Yeah, for complex numbers, we can equate it to a infinite power series. Oh, what is it? Is equal to.
A Team Skeptic likes you already, but you're over his head.
And give me 1 sec. So z is going to be an element of the complex numbers, and we're going to have what's called a radius of convergence. So from -1 to 1, we're going to draw a unit circle in the complex plane. This is -I. This is I. And any complex number within that's enclosed by that circle, we can plug it into a certain power series. Now, I don't know why. I can't remember the power series for the Riemann zeta function off the top of my head.
It's funny you're using I instead of the proper J.
You're an electrical engineer. Your opinion on this matter is null and void.
Clive Wells is giving you other ways to do it. Or just note that the sum of that all the partial sums are non-negative, so the limit, if it exists, cannot be negative. Or you can also write it as an integral over the Hankel contour.
You could, but I don't know. I prefer my way better. Just a simple limit test.
Clive says the zeta function sum is not a power series.
Yeah, I know.
Bang, bang.
Bite me. Yeah, what is it? It's 1 over n, I think. Right? It doesn't feel right.
Oh, Clive, your formula got tagged by YouTube. Now, you know how I know it's over Team's head?
Why is that?
It's over my head, too.
All right, give me 1 sec. I almost had this. I
I
wrote
checked
this
out
down.
when you used the wrong letter for square root of -1, basically.
Oh, oh God.
Team Skeptic's like he's just trolling. This is basically Jack and Clive. And who else? Who else is following along here?
Why can't I remember the powers or the what's it called, the infinite series? It's so clear once you see it though.
Is that what Clive posted there?
I can't see Clive's thing, but it's bothering me so much.
It says zeta equals sum of something.
Yeah.
Oh. He's typing. He's looking it up.
Yeah, I have to look it up. I can't fucking remember. Okay, so here.
Team says he's following 100%, but he wants to slep.
Okay. I did not just look this up.
He typed slep.
1 over n to the power of s. No, I guess z in this case. Okay, so where was I going with this? I spent so long looking for the freaking power series that I end up with this. Okay, so if we plug in, let's call it -1 into this.
Skeptic just proofread where he wrote slep instead of sleep. Clive says n equals 1 to infinity. From n equals 1
I remember this now. Okay, so if we do this with -1, then what are we gonna get? So z is -1, so it's gonna be equal to the sum from.
So hold on. Team Skeptic.
N.
Green Bullion only gets to come on if he goes on camera with his face.
All right. So if we plug in -1 into the Riemann zeta function, then supposedly we should be able to equate it to the infinite series, 1 over n to the power of z. Now z in this case is -1, so what we're going to get is this is equal to the sum from 1 to infinity of n. In other words, this is sum of all natural numbers. Now, here's the thing about the Riemann zeta function. The Riemann zeta function evaluated at -1 is in fact equal to -1 over 12. So why does this seemingly prove that the sum of all natural numbers is equal to -1 over 12? Recall it back that I said this is a radius of convergence where any element within that circle that's enclosed by it is going to be equal to the this sum here. It is not actually equal to the Riemann zeta function at those points along those circles, and -1 is. So because it's not within the radius of convergence, therefore we cannot just simply stick in -1 into that infinite series and get the correct answer. It's one way of what we call illegal proofs of throwing people off. It's very similar to this one.
Yeah, be careful with illegal proofs. You get arrested.
0, 1, and I. So, Pythagorean theorem. People get a little carried away with this. They might say, oh, 1 squared plus I squared is going to be equal to whatever the length of this is, and that's just 1 subtract 1, therefore it's 0. That's not how it works. The set of imaginary numbers is not an ordered set, so you can't use it to denote magnitude.
Yeah. Bitches.
Yeah, so there we go. Oh, this is a big throwback to when we did series. I hated that unit so much. It was either some weird fraction or it was 0 or infinity, and I did not like that.
Nice. Chris Hoffman says, Team, it looks like you're about to fall asleep on your keyboard. Ilya Moon says, I like Jack. I could do math with him all day. So there you go.
Hey.
You got more fans, Jack. So Clive, what's his grade? Team throws out the question. Jack throws the answer, and Clive gets to grade him. Team says, if I slept on my keyboard, then I'll end up drawing on my keys. Oh. Quiddies wants to dust off his college calculus books. I'm waiting for Clive's grade. He gets an A. Yes.
Oh,
You get an A. Have you ever not gotten an A? Seriously, Jack.
of course. Oh God, no, don't remind me. I had to take what basically amounted to an English literature course in first year university for a physics degree, and it pissed me off so much. But we had a prof that refused to give anything above an 80 unless you kissed his ass, and I didn't kiss his ass because my pride was just too much for that.
Team, we're not going to do this. This isn't for today, but team says next up, mathematically prove that the sum of an infinite midpoints equals 1.
Ah.
There you go. So, all right, I got to wrap this up. I got a video coming out next Friday on somebody else's channel with over 300,000 subscribers. Who might that be? I got to edit that video and do some other stuff around here. Be sure to be watching whoever might be coming out with videos on Fridays on the topic of Flat Earth that has more than 300,000 subscribers. It's not PewDiePie. Stranger News 1. So, all right. What is this sorcery? All right, I was gonna say something else. This makes an appearance. Oh, I think I have my I must have my green screen, my chroma key on. I do. There we go. Off. Now you can see these better. So, it's not Joe Rogan. Hannah Anderson knows it. Yes, I'm excited. That's going to be good. I've recorded everything. I've just got some editing to do. It's right in 15 minutes long. It is 5 somethings. And it has to do with... I'm not debunking Black Swan. So there you go. Anyway, Jack, anything to say before we wrap this up?
I can prove that series so fast. Let me do it.
All right.
Okay. All right. We want to prove that the sum from n equals 1 to infinity of, what would be one way to write this? 1 over 2 power of n. That seems right. Is equal to 1. So this is going to be equal to 1 over 2 plus 1 over 4 plus 1 over 8, and so on and so forth. Now, just to skip to the answer because I know we don't have a lot of time here, let's denote this series for 1 over 2 to the nth term as Sn is equal to this. Let's multiply this sum by 2. So 2Sn is going to be equal to 1 plus 1 over 2 plus 1 over 4 plus 1 over 8, and so on and so forth. And what we should see here is that this is equal to this. So what we can say is that 2Sn is equal to 1 plus Sn. And so therefore subtract Sn from both sides. Sn is equal to 1. And therefore we've just proven that the sum of 1 over 2 to the power of n from n equals 1 to infinity is equal to 1. QED. And there we go.
There you go. Did it quick. Nice.
Okay.
Team Skeptic says you nailed it. Good job, Jack. So there we go.
I hate series. My least favorite field of mathematics. Or not even field, just subject.
Or, Clive, or geometrically take a unit square and divide it in 2, then divide one of the halves in 2, etc. This gives an infinite sum is 1.
Yeah, that's easy to do.
So
side lengths of 1. This is 1 over 2, 1 over 4, and so on and so forth.
What is this sorcery?
Squares. this would be sorcery for flat Earth.
Oh yeah, it is. This is mad. None of it makes any sense, right? None of them, not one of them, can do this. Not one can do this. Every time I
Next
ask them,
time.
they're like, you can't do that. Math, blah, blah. Prove everything with math. No.
No. Next time we're gonna prove the Pythagorean theorem for n number of dimensions. That should be fun.
I look forward to it.
All right.
More
Talk to you then.
sorcery.
I gotta go eat dinner.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, tell me what you thought about it in the comments. Thank you very much to my subscribers, patrons, and channel members, everybody that does super chats, all that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It makes it possible for me to not have to drive, Lyft, and Uber. So how's that? I'd rather not do that and put all those miles on my car. So has anyone asked the airspeed of an unladen swallow? We'll have to cover that in the next one. So let's see. There we go. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye.